Okay, this is the guided practice, just problem number 5 from lesson 8.2. What we've got here is they're telling us the curved surface of the cylinder. So that would be what I refer to as the body. So not the circles. We're not talking about the top of this or the bottom. What we're talking about is the body of it all the way around the cylinder there. So the area of the curved surface of a cylindrical can is 162 pi square centimeters. So what they didn't do was they just never, again, the formula for just the curved surface is 2 times pi times r times h, or pi times the diameter times the height. 2 times the radius, okay, it gives you the diameter. So if they give you the radius, multiply it by 2. If they give you the diameter, then pi times diameter times the height. So what they did is they multiplied 2 times the radius times the height. And when they did that, they got 162. And then you would do 162 times pi. So what they did, they just didn't do the 162 times pi. So they're telling you that that's the area of the body, 162 times pi. If you wanted to figure out the exact area of the body, then you would do 162, and we're using 3.14 for pi, and you would get 508.68, which we're rounding these to the nearest tenth, so 508.7, and then centimeters squared. So if you wanted to find the exact, you could, but they're just telling us that it's 162 times pi square centimeters. So let's see what they're asking us to do here. So it gives us all that information. It tells us what the area of the body is, the curved portion of the can, and it tells us that the height is 9, and it wants to know the diameter of the can. And so they're using 2 times pi times r times h. So we just plug in everything that we know. So again, the formula is area equals 2 times pi times r times h. So let's plug in what we know. Do we know the area? Yes, we know the area is 162 times pi. That's what they're giving us. Equals, we know 2 is 2, so it stays 2. We know pi is pi, so it stays pi. Do we know the radius? Nope, we don't know the radius, so it stays r. Do we know the height? Yes, so we replace h with 9. And that's what we would fill in this first line down here. We would have 162 pi, and then you see 2 times pi times our height, which is 9. Okay. Then we solve for r. We want to get r all by itself. They're asking us for the diameter. So first we find the radius, and if we find the radius, then we certainly can find the diameter, because we know to just multiply the radius times 2 at the very end. So on the left side, right side over here, combine all of your like terms. So go ahead and leave out pi. Let's just multiply the 2 times the 9. And what we'll get is 162 times pi equals 2 times 9. Again, it's all multiplication, so we can multiply in any order we want. And we know that 2 times 9 is 18 times pi times r. Okay? If it helps, you can put those dots in between so you can see the differences there in multiplying. But we just combined our two integers there, 2 and 9. And that's what we would write down here. Multiply 2 by 9, and we'd have the 162 pi equals 2 times 9 times pi times r. And after we do that, we would have 162 pi equals 18 pi r. Okay? Now again, our goal is to get the r by itself, so we want to get rid of the 18 and the pi, but we can simplify this. So instead of having to multiply 162 times pi, instead of having to do 18 times pi, we can just put them together, and we can just divide by 18 pi. So 18 pi is multiplying the r, so the opposite of multiplying by 18 pi is to divide by 18 pi. So we divide both sides by 18 pi. And as you look over here, pi over pi, those would cancel each other out because anything divided by itself is 1. And then when you get 162 divided by 18, you would get 9. And then again, pi over pi cancels. So we have 9 on the left side equals, and 18 pi over 18 pi, those cancel each other out, and we are left with r. So we now know that the radius is 9. If I fill in everything over here, it's exactly what I just wrote. 162 pi equals 18 pi r. Divide both sides by 18 pi. And when you do that, you get 9 equals r. And then you just have to remember that it's not asking us for the radius, it's asking us for the diameter. So if the radius is 9, then the diameter is 18. And that is in centimeters. Okay, so our answer here, the diameter of the can is 18 centimeters. And again, over here, we divided both sides by 18 pi. All right, so on these problems, you're not always asked to find the volume or not always asked to find the area. Sometimes they're going to ask you to find the height or find the radius. So you plug in everything you know into the equation, and then you get rid of things. You combine like terms, and then you get the variable by itself, whatever that might be, r or h, or if it is volume or area. All right?